Well, after about 35 hours of travel, I finally pulled into Salt Lake City. Very tired, but I'm going to push through the next few hours, try and stay awake and go to bed tired to get over this jet lag. First thing on the agenda, get my bag, go find Justin Jacobson, Utah Airguns, meeting up with Shane Keller tonight as well from Element Optics. And then tomorrow is preparation day, setting up for the competition. We've got 2 guns to set up, so hopefully it goes smoothly, and yeah, exciting few days ahead for sure.
Good to see you.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
Yep.
Slightly less chaotic than RMAC time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Utah Airguns is one of those mouth-watering stores that has you reaching for your wallet the moment you walk in. But for me, the best part about being here wasn't the eye candy, but the amazing people that work here.
So good to be back in Airgun Paradise. Every time I come here, it's normally around RMAC time, and then it's just chaos. So it's really nice to just have some peace and quiet, to be able to just walk through and check everything out properly and just hang out with all these amazing guys. So awesome.
Yeah, we actually just get to like sit and shoot and turn on guns for once.
That's great.
Yeah, that'll be fun. What do you think of the cool little PRS section?
Oh, super cool. It's a good space for someone if they want to check out the Panthera to just grab a bag and
exactly.
Plonk it on you. And
this is the how and why this is the way it is. And it just happens to have a Theos on it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The little speed.
You know what's missing
here
here is a monkey.
Yes.
You've got all these plains game animals, but you're missing the airgun. You're missing this.
I know.
Missing the small stuff.
Fun
but
stuff.
we'll get you a monkey and a Dusty eventually.
After over 30 hours of travel, I was keen to get an early night, so it's cameras off for now. The real work begins tomorrow. Back at the shop, this time with Shane Keller of Element Optics, who'd also flown in the night before, and we spent some time hanging out and catching up.
So we've just pulled in again at Utah Airguns, and this morning we're going to get straight down to business. We've got 2 guns that have just arrived. We've got an Impact in 30 caliber, and we've got a Panthera in 22 cal, and we're going to be setting up the Impact for 100-yard bench, and we're going to be setting up the Panthera for like sort of NRL 22/PRS shooting that we're going to be doing at the NEC. Now the nice thing about these 2 different guns is that for the disciplines I'm setting them up for, there's very little that we actually need to do to get them shooting in a competition worthy standard. So we're going to run through that in a moment. We're going to head back to the range, and we're going to fit a few little aftermarket parts just to make it more personal, more what I'm used to, and then we're going to get going and see what we can do at the range. Don't you just love getting new stuff? Oh, it's a good feeling. Setting up 2 guns for the NorthEast Classic. An Impact for bench and a Panthera for the PRS. Why am I choosing these models for those disciplines? Well, for one, the Impact, literally, the Impact 30 cal, the only thing I have to do is to put a bipod on it, and honestly, with a bipod on it and a good rear bag, I've got a setup that can win competitions with standard 44 grain JSBs without even touching the factory settings. So for someone who travels to competitions and doesn't like bring my own gun, that is a no-brainer. Impact for bench, it works. The Impact over the Panthera, basically because it's got a bigger air capacity and a bigger magazine. Those 2 things are very important because refilling an air tank and refilling a magazine are things that take up time and halt your momentum when shooting bench. The Panthera is obviously built for PRS stuff, so if I had to be using an Impact for the PRS, then I would have to do quite a bit of work to it to get it well balanced and get the power up and all that stuff. I brought a few things from home just to kind of make the gun feel like my own guns at home. We also have a few new things from MDT, and before we even pick the guns up, let me show those to you. So this package arrived yesterday, and I'm going to run you through the stuff that I'm going to use on this for this competition. So MDT sent 2 of their Sky Pods. I've always wanted to use these for PRS. They sent one with like a double pull leg, which is a bit longer, so you can use it for sitting, but I probably won't use that one for these competitions. That is this one over here, so we'll put this one aside. But they sent the single pull as well, which I'm planning to use for the NEC and for all future competitions. So you get that length adjustment, but what I really like about this is, firstly, it's got Picatinny and Arca a rail over here, so I can put it on an Impact or a Panthera, and I don't need any adapters. That's very well thought out. Secondly, it's easy to flip open like the Atlas that I had before. But what I like about this that the Atlas can't do is the ability to go really wide for a stable prone position. So it's got this adjustment too, so you can put it like that, you can put it somewhere in the middle, and then you can put it really wide. And then obviously you've got your forward tilt as well. But to be honest, if I can avoid the forward tilt, I will. MDT also sent me a couple weights, and then MDT also sent one of these send it electronic levels. And if it's tilting to the one side, it'll go red, and the other side will go blue. So just in your peripheral vision, without having to really look hard, you can see, okay, if it's blue, I need to tilt it the other way. If it's red, I need to tilt it the other way. If it's green, I'm good. There she is. 700mm 30 cal impact. I asked for a couple extra magazines and a Donny FL silencer. So that's pretty much everything we need. I'm going to show you how easy an impact straight out the box is to set up for 100-yard bench. First thing you need is a bar pod. Now I really like this wide Accutac for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's got that wide footprint, which obviously is quite important. Secondly, it's quite low to the ground, so I don't have to use a massive rear sandbag or like a really high bag rider. But the most important thing is that there's absolutely no wiggle room at all on here. Donny FL silencer on the end, keep it quiet. And then lastly, this is literally the only other thing we need here. Element Theos, which I'm going to use for bench, that 36 times magnification is helpful. And we've got high 34mm Element Aculite rings. The last thing we're going to do on the impact is to fit a rear bag rider, because the way that the gun sits on the rear bag is super important. Your rear bag is what you use for bench to shift your gun up and down, left and right. This one is made by PR Systems, and we're literally going to just remove the rear factory butt pad like that. Should just slide in, and there we go, done. It's the bag rider in, so now we've got a super solid platform between the bag rider and the bar pod. This gun is not moving anywhere. This is not pure personal preference. It's actually not that important, but I just want to make this gun feel like my impact at home. We're going to swap the factory grip out for a slightly more chunky ergo grip. So that's our last step over here. There you go. That's our impact setup done and dusted. Well, it'll take us like 5 to 10 minutes, so pretty happy with that. So bench setup, we'll put this to the side just for a little bit. And let's turn our attention to the good old Panthera, shall we? Panthera. Now that is a cool gun. It doesn't need a lot of work, as I mentioned, but the factory bottle is a 250 bar bottle, which is fine for most applications. However, Air Marksman makes a 300 bar bottle that's basically the same size, and it's always nice to have just that little bit of extra capacity for, let's say if I want to get through 2 full stages before I refill. There you go. The next thing that I would normally do at this stage is fit a bunch of weights to the front to the fore end and try to balance the thing out. This is made by Sabre Tactical. It's a fore end for the Panthera, and it's got a bunch of weight built into it in a kind of strategic way that also stiffens and strengthens it up. The other benefit of this rail is that if I do want to fit weights on the side, the weights will have enough space where I can fit the weights and fit the bar pod at the bottom and slide it wherever I need to on this Arca rail. The factory one, the rail is a little bit high, so if I'm fitting weights on the side, the weights cover the Arca rail and I can't actually slide the bar pod forward and backwards. So this in theory should be an upgrade. Let's fit it and see how it does, but I already know just from looking at this thing that I'm probably going to like it quite a lot. Got a few screws to remove here, but it shouldn't take too long. Here you can see the differences between these two. Sabre Tactical one is a bit wider and obviously a bit lower as well, and definitely much heftier. Here's the factory one next to it. So the factory one is not only a little bit shorter, as you can see, but it's also a bit narrower. This extra width in theory should also help sit on the bag a bit nicer. So yeah, pretty excited to see how this thing works out. I've gone ahead and added the sky pod here. Now, as I said, what's cool about this is it's Arca and Picatinny. So from the factory, it's got an Arca adjustment. That means I can slide it anywhere along this rail, mount it wherever I want, and it's going to sit. So that's very cool. So this Theos thankfully already has my mounts on here, so I'm just going to go ahead and loosen these, plonk it on, and you should be good to go. Okay, with the scope on, I can feel it's still slightly back heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add 2 weights a bit forward here. I've got these 2 MDT weights, and I think we're going to probably put them somewhere here, and that should balance us out really nicely. And that's it. I think the only thing I'm going to do is to add this new Air Marksman carbon fiber pistol grip. Now the one that's on this gun is actually very nice. It's the thicker ergo vertical grip. My Panthera back in South Africa came with a slightly different grip. I tend to prefer these thicker ergo grips, and this one is very nice. But just for the sake of trying something new, let's take out this Air Marksman. That is seriously classy. It's carbon fiber, and the idea of this being carbon fiber is that once again this is your center of gravity over here. So any weight that you can remove from behind that is always a good thing. What's nice about this as well is it's got ambidextrous thumb up position, so I can put my thumb up here. If you're a lefty, you can put your thumb up here, and that's one thing that the ergo grip doesn't have. So yep, Air Marksman grip, very, very nice, and let's see what we can do here.
It didn't take long to get the Panthera where I wanted it. Reg to 160 bar, 40 grain javelins in the magazine, and then I slowly turned the power wheel until I was around the 990 to 1000 feet per second mark. It was printing at 25 yards, but no point doing much zeroing here. We would need to hit an outdoor range to learn a bit more. I didn't even get a chance to test shoot the impact, and believe it or not, I would go through the entire competition having no idea what velocity I was even shooting. More on this later. Right now, it's range time.
Gotta get a running start here.
Have you not? No, look. No. Hold on. Let me show you.
I was gonna show off my skills.
Look at this.
You just saved me an injury.
Which, by the way, freaking cheap Ford trucks. Lost my freaking cap that goes on this. I'm bitter about that. But check it out. So this old man step, old man grab bar.
Jeez,
that's how you get in.
You still got a 40.
Oh yeah.
Just like that.
Oh, oops, sorry. Whoa. You guys off to see the wizard?
Yeah, I have to see the wizard, dude.
Shane, what do you think about where we parked?
Smells excellent. Very, very bad. Justin comes over here, he's gonna start gagging.
The goal was really to launch some lead out the Panthera at 100 to 200 yards to validate trajectory, but the wind was absolutely pumping through here. We'd expect nothing less from Hobble Creek Canyon, and so we basically gave up on the air guns and decided to just have some fun with some of the new element scopes on top of Justin's guns. so cold.
It is cold. And that wind does not help.
I'm not prepared.
Yeah.
Sandals, shorts. At least you got the hoodie part.
Yeah. And of course we had the Harper 7 with us, and just for fun we mounted it on an AR and quickly created a profile for it on the Element Ballistics app so we could test out the live BDC reticle function. Right now it's like every 200 yards it's got a step.
Yeah.
Because if we do it any closer it'll start to like go on top of each other from 100
right.
to 300. But you can set, like if you want to set it to be every 100 yards, every 150, then you can set what your step is on the BDC reticle.
That's cool.
That's very cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Basically, you just get to write your own reticle.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That is awesome.
So cool. Boom! Nice!
That was awesome.
Nice, dude.
Well, I was hoping to bring my guns out here and learn something today, but in wind like this, you can't really learn much about your gun because the results will be so thrown off by the wind. Plus, the weather here compared to the altitude here compared to the altitude where we're going in a couple days to Boston is going to be totally different. So there's no point really doing like trajectory validation and stuff like that here. So I think we'll probably call it quits there for today. We also forgot our air tanks, so that kind of, you know, with the Panthera shooting at this power without being able to fill it up, we've got like 15 to 20 shots. So yeah, but it's fun. In the next episode, we'll be crossing the United States once again from Utah to New England. We will be taking part in the first annual NorthEast Classic Airgun Competition. I'll be showing you all the events from 100-yard bench rest to precision rifle challenge to a new fan favorite, the Squatch Bomb. And in between, we'll be having a ton of fun with some very interesting characters from all over the world.
Breakfast of Champions, French toast.
Make sure you subscribe to stay notified. I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching.